Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity. How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be playing Warriors Orochi 4. Now, this is not going to be a first impressions, not a review. It's way past that, but I've been getting a few comments recently that are asking me, hey, what game am I playing in some of my news videos and whatnot, and this is the answer. I figured it's time that I actually talk about this game because I feel like it's severely underrated. Maybe that's I don't know, maybe that's not necessarily underrated, but I don't really see a lot of people that talk about this game or ever mention it, but this is quite possibly one of the best games I've ever played. And keep in mind, I was unaware of what this game was until I realized that it was actually associated with Dynasty Warriors, which that game I am a master at. So you know, obviously 2 and 2, yeah, I mean, I had to play this game. So Warriors Orochi 4 is, like, hands down probably my favorite game on the Nintendo Switch right now, next to maybe Luigi's Mansion. I don't know which is better. I'm kind of playing a lot of both of these, but this game I've beaten all the crap. I've got, like, majority of the characters, minus a couple, I think, but overall, I play this game an extensive amount of hours, and I just, yeah, it's a little embarrassing to mention that I play this game extremely, and I mean an extreme amount of hours. So I guess I should kind of just show you guys what exactly this game is about. And for those of you that are the casual gamer, this is your game. This is the game that you can turn your brain off and literally do nothing. I've pretty much beaten all of the story and the side story. Currently going through some of the DLC stuff, which I'm almost done with that as well. So we'll go ahead and do that. So how this game works, if you've ever played the Dynasty Warriors, it's essentially the same combat. There's obviously some minute differences depending on which Dynasty Warrior you've played. And in fact, this game features Dynasty Warrior characters like, you know, Chow Chow and fucking Chow Vai and all these other fucking people. They're all in this game. Now, we're playing on the very, like, the absolute hardest difficulty that there can be. And I'm going to show you guys why this is for the casual gamer. So, as you can see, I have just killed 9 people, and it's been like 10 seconds. Okay, there we go. 58 people, and they're now dead. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we're doing here. It's pretty much just this. This is the game right here. You just kind of go through hordes of enemies, and then you fight a boss whenever, you know, a boss shows up. Like that guy was supposed to be a boss, and he's dead. So, you know, yeah. Reminder, this is the hardest difficulty that is available, so just letting you know. Now, the character that I'm using is pretty busted, and I'm not even doing his, like, super busted move, but he is severely broken. Like, he has a stop time move that allows him to keep his combo counter, as well as he can use any of his moves and whatnot as well, and just do a buttload of damage. And the way I have him outfitted is, whenever he takes damage, I can actually just heal all of that damage up, and I'm pretty much Gucci sizzle to the whizzle, if you know what I'm saying. Oh yeah, also, I surf on this fucking staff, so, you know, that's lit, fam. Oh, you guys wanted to actually play the game with me? Nah, son, I'm just gonna do this, and then just summon down a hail of swords, and just pretend that I don't even know what I'm doing. Another character that's incredibly broken is this guy. He does 1,000,000 damage. As you can see, he just kind of murders everything, which is just beautiful. Also, he turns into a tornado, so that's cool. He also has, like, one of, like, the coolest movesets where, like, it's just, he like, slashes the air, and then, like, he just, like, puts the sword into the sheath, and it just does extra damage, and it's, like, a finisher. Looks really cool. I'll go over some of the combat stuff a little bit later on in terms of, like, upgrades and, like, how everything works, but overall, this is just quite possibly the funnest game I've ever played. You just do nothing. You just go through hordes of enemies. You're this broken character, and you just do broken shit. Like, that's what you do. Like, that's the game. The game beats itself. Like, all you have to do is at least know how to move your thumbs, and you're good. I wish I could take credit for the fact that, like, I'm good at this game, but realistically, my son's good at this game, and he's 7, so unless that kid's a child prodigy, you know, not saying that he's not, but just for me, I'm an oaf, so, like, you know me, I'm useless. I don't even know how to effectively do laundry, and I just killed 502 people, so I don't know. Oh, where are my manners? I haven't even talked about Gourd Boy. So, yeah, this guy is essentially just drunk man who slams the gourd around and does a buttload of damage. Also, he has Mega Suck, so, like, he can suck everybody off and kill everyone instantly, because that's just a move that he really needed, which is downright beautiful. Also, if you do the right combination, you can just spit, like, the sake at people and they die. Because, you know, that's like the coolest thing on planet Earth. I mean, if you just look at the movesets, bro, like if you actually just look at the movesets like that, like this is lit. Oh yeah, I have this move where the gourd just rolls around me and does 1,000,000 damage. Not sure what that's going on about. Now, so the way the combat works is you have a few different combinations. So let's just find a little patch of dirt here. So right here, you'll notice that if I just mash, you know, the Y button, it just kind of does this, you know, standard moveset. This is just me mashing the Y button, which, by the way, does a lot of damage. Now, there are certain combinations between the Y and the X button. So you can press Y once and then the X button, and then it'll do a combo move. So essentially, you can do this, and then it'll do, like, you know, more combo moves. So you can do Y, and then just mash the X button, and then it'll do, like, this combo, which is pretty good. Now, each character has a variety of combos. So, like, for example, Odin, his first combo, which is Y, X, it kind of does this kind of spear, you know, little jab. This is just pressing the Y button, but if you do Y, Y, and then X, you get this kind of, like, little drive-by staff move. Now, if we do Y 3 times and then X, we kind of get this charge move right here. Actually, this is 3 times. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. 1, 2, where? Whoa, 1, 2, what? Fuck, what? 1, 2, 3. Nope, that's not it. 1, 2, fuck. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then boom, bam, bing, bow. We get this charge move. If you just hold the X button, you can charge it up till they glow red, and then eventually you can let it rip, and then boom, bam, Beyblade death move. And this goes up to however many times that you want. This is the 4th one right here, which is does a lot of damage, and then if you charge it up, eventually it'll, you know, do the final animation. And then if you just let this go out, right, up till here, and then you can do the X move, and then this basically pulls in all the enemies into this little light area, which, by the way, you can control however long you want, and you can put it wherever you feel like it, and you can just pull them in like that, and then this is what you do. And then whenever you're like, I'm kind of done being a dick, you just obliterate them into absolute oblivion, and there you go. And like I said, this is different for every character. So this guy's gonna have an absolutely completely different move where he slams the ground and kind of, you know, dashes forward a little bit. And then also if you do it like 4 times right here, you can do the little, you know, cool slash move. So yeah, there's a lot of different combinations for each character, each unique to their own characters. Obviously, it's going to be dependent on the type of character there are. There are different types. So, for example, I believe this character is more of a what combo character. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't go into that kind of specifics. But overall, there is different character types where it does matter and how you build them. So, if one character is built off of, you know, guns or something, or that has projectiles, you would build them differently from, you know, a sword user. And then there's also magic involved as well, so you can do, you know, certain magical attacks build around magic to where you can do extreme amounts of damage. And then there's also physical types attacks. So just as an example, this right here is just the triggers together, and this is considered a magical attack. Anybody and everybody can do this, but this is just as an example that this is a magic attack, which looks, you know, absolutely amazing. Now these things, Chaos Origins, they're really easy to kill, it's, as you can see, but they can only be damaged heavily through magic attacks. You can use physical attacks on them. If you have high enough physical attack, you'll be able to kill them easily as well, but just using magic attacks kind of saves your life. So depending on who you have on your team, you'll be able to kill those more efficiently, or, you know, not as efficiently. So it is what it is. And not every character has absolutely amazing magic attacks. Like, for example, this move right here that I have, yeah, I turn into a tornado, super cool, right? But this is mainly a get around the map move. It's not necessarily meant to do damage, as you can tell, because I'm doing no damage. Now, if I use the Y version or the X version, this does a lot of damage and obliterates everything instantly, and is quite possibly the most broken thing next to Odin. Now this guy, for example, he's not exactly great when it comes to magic. He doesn't have a whole lot going for him. This is his magic move, which yeah, I mean, as you can tell by them still being alive, that's not good. It's more of a CC technique, so you'd knock them up and, you know, do a bunch of damage, but realistically, you don't need to do that whenever you can just do this, and then they just die, so, well, what's the point? And his other magical move is where he summons a giant, you know, sword and obliterates things, but once again, the AoE's weak, and you know, you're better off just using his regular combo attacks in doing damage. He's not very good when it comes to magic. And then you also have your insane moves, like the kind of like supers where it's personalized to each character. And as you can see, it does a dickload of damage, and it also is cool as shit. This guy's just basically drunk Choji, pretty much. That's essentially what he is. Even though I've pretty much described this game as incredibly easy, there are the parts where it can be kind of difficult, and on the hardest difficulty, if you mess up just once and you get caught out in a bad situation, you get CC'd, you get stun locked, anything of the sort, what happens is you die instantly. If this wasn't a DLC mission and I wasn't trying to complete it, I would show you, but you lose health incredibly fast. So even though you're doing a buttload of damage, it's the fact that the bosses are just as strong as you. The only difference between you and them is the fact that they're, you know, dumb AI. It's kind of like handing a blind person a shotgun and you're in a room full of people, and it's just, you know, like he has a chance to just instantly kill you. That's just kind of what it is. Another interesting tidbit about this game is that it runs extremely well. Even in the portable mode, where if you're just on the go or whatever, it still runs extremely well with all like the particle effects and just all this crazy stuff that's happening. I'm surprised that this game actually runs as well as it do. Obviously, it's not the most detailed game, which I would, you know, I'd still argue that it looks pretty good, but, you know, it functions about as well as you would expect for a Nintendo game, but it kind of surpasses my expectations just a little bit in terms of performance. I would have assumed that there would have been lag and just kind of a lot of just, you know, maybe stuttering, but surprisingly enough, I don't actually have any issues at all with that, especially, like I said, with all the particle effects, with all the insanity that's around, you know, that is this game. Oh, hello, Diamondback. Did you okay, oh my fucking god, I died. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? If you mess up even once, just even a little bit, you're dead. And that situation will happen, believe me. No matter how good you are at the game, randomly you might not be looking at the minimap. You might be busy just trying to, you know, farm up your combo points or whatever, and just some dude creeps up behind you, sticks the giant spear in your bum, and you're dead. So now let's just kind of go over weapons and upgrades, and then we'll just go ahead and end the video here. So what you can do is you can upgrade your officers in whichever way you want. I tend to favor more of, like, you know, the actual heavier combo characters like Musashi Miyamoto, Munero, that guy. Or Odin. So yeah, I mean, I just tend to kind of enjoy these characters a lot more, and each one of these characters will have a certain god weapon. And when I say god weapon, it's not necessarily like a god weapon, it's more like it's a sacred treasure. So for example, we'll take let's see here, Musashi Miyamoto, he gets something called that. And what this does, it basically allows him to you know, add like, he dashes around with like a fire effect on him. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It's again a speed move or whatever, and you get two versions of this, so you'll have to play around with whichever one you want to use, but overall it really doesn't matter. They're both useful in some way or another. And then you have the actual weapons. So we'll start with Musashi again. So you have your regular, you know, decked out crazy weapons, and then you've got, you know, your weaker ones, and then this purple one here, which is called Blade of Five Elements. This weapon is directly tied to Musashi Miyamoto. This is only his weapon that he can use, and you can deck it out with however you want. And you see these points on the side here where it's like plus 10 or whatever. These are your skills or just some kind of abilities that you can put onto your weapons. So for example, if I wanted to fuse this Blade of the Cursed Blood or whatever this is, you'll have a bunch of these, you know, statistics. Early on in the game, you won't have access to a lot of these gold ones that I have. You'll have to farm these up later on once you beat the game, but you'll have access to stuff like this where with just the blue icons and the brown icons and whatnot. And these are all good. You'll have to play around with different combinations. You'll have to understand the character just a little bit and know what works with them, if they're a magic user or if they're mainly combo based. If they're combo based and they do just a lot of damage with normal attacks, you're going to want something like Brawn, which increases damage inflicted by normal attacks. And then if you have something that's heavily, combo types with charge attacks, which is what you do with the combos where you press Y and X after each other, this increases those charge attacks. So Might and Brawn is typically what people would take on, a heavy combo character like Musashi Miyamoto or that other guy. I've already made this video extremely long, but I just want to go over some of the, interesting characters that I think that might sell the game to you guys if you're interested. So you have characters like Ares, you have characters like Athena, you even have fucking Zeus of all things. Hold on, let me just find this bastard. Hold on here. Ah, there you go. I'm sure when you think of Zeus, you just see that man right there. And then there are other characters that are also, from, folklore or gods or whatever. Like you've got QB, which, oh boy. You have characters like Nasia, Sun Wukong, which, please, for the love of God, stop putting Wukong in every video game. Oh yeah, you also have Nuwa, which, by the way, you look lovely, madam. Then you've also got Daiji, and then who is this over here? Fire God, no, I was reading the weapon. I was like, her name's Fire God's robe? Oh yeah, and you also have Sasuke. He's looking real good. Oh yeah, who could forget Zombie Face? So yeah, I think that's kind of where we're going to end the video. There's just there's a lot going on with this game. In my personal opinion, this is one of the best video games on the Nintendo Switch, just in terms of performance, how much you're going to actually get out of this. But before I beat the game, and mind you, I played this entire game cooperatively with Steve, it took us roughly around, I think, a week to actually beat this game. You can probably shorten that up if you dedicate yourself, but we played maybe like 3 hours a day or something, sometimes even more, and it still took us about a week to beat the game. So there is an explicit amount of content, but at the same time, just to put out a negative out there that you might feel, the content can get repetitive. You are essentially doing the same thing where you're taking out hordes of enemies, killing a boss, and then just doing it all over again. That's pretty much the game in a nutshell, but it changes it up with a story mode, dialogue, stuff like that. So if you're looking for something like this, then this game, it's pretty interesting. I literally recommend it to the max to the casual player that just wants to actually have fun and just turn their brain off. Say, I've already done that. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little, a very large video, just kind of explaining the entire game here. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.